So, dear students, Namaskar. So, in this particular video, we are going to discuss about the next algorithm to solve the sequence alignment problem. In previous two videos, that is sequence alignment part 1 and part 2, I have discussed about the what sequence alignment is all about, what are the basic concepts, and in the part 2, I have discussed the first attempt to do the sequence alignment, that is the dot matrix analysis, dot plot method, given by Gibson McIntyre in 1972. So that is the first attempt actually to solve the sequence alignment problem, but the limitation of the dot matrix analysis was the human supervision, more time consuming, and processor takes a lot of time to calculate, and at the end we will get only qualitative data. So in case once there is a close a comparison, you will not be able to judge that which sequence is actually sharing the strong level of similarity with your sequence. And once the number of bases increased in your sequence, you will get the fuzzy figures. So to overcome from this limitation of the dot matrix analysis, the improved version, and which one is the best right now used in the bioinformatics for the sequence analysis, that we are going to discuss in this particular video. That is a dynamic programming algorithm. And later on, we'll discuss about the word archetypal method. So let's discuss about what dynamic programming is all about. If you are new in the channel, you have not seen the previous videos, go back in the bioinformatics playlist. You can find the sequence alignment part 1 and sequence alignment part 2. Please watch that, then you come to this particular video, then only you will understand that. Alright. So let's discuss what dynamic programming is all about. So dynamic programming means, just take an example. So consider two modest size sequence of 195 nucleotides. Suppose two sequences are there, 195 nucleotides, right? And we want to include the concept of the insertion and deletion. Means you want to include the gaps also, where the insertion takes place during the course of evolution, or the deletion takes place. So obviously, once you go for the global alignment, you will come to know that there is total 5 gaps. If you align the sequence number 1 and sequence number 2, sequence number 1 have 100 amino acid length, and sequence number 2 have 95 nucleotide or protein amino acid, whatever. So there should be total 5 gaps. So here is the problem with you. The 5 gap you have to insert, right, to make the length of both the sequences similar. So there is the maybe the gaps you can insert from position number 1 to 5, or position number 2 to 6, or position number 3 to 9, or position number 4 to 10, something like that, right? 1 to 5, 2 to 6, 3 to 7, 4 to 8. Likewise, you have to, a lot of options are there, right? So is it possible for you to try all the combinations where you can put the gaps? It's not possible. It's not possible. Why we are doing so? Because we want the best option, the best alignment, which can mimic or simulate the evolutionary process. Actually, what happened during the evolution? How the sequence number 2 originated from the sequence number 1. So it is not possible to try all the combinations. So to solve this problem, we are using the dynamic programming. Dynamic programming means very simple. If you have the big problem, you can divide in the sub problems, solve the sub problems, and later on club it up, and then your problems is going to be solved. Say for example, if you want to read a big book, like suppose Leninger for biochemistry, so it's a heavy book. In a day you will not be able to finish it. So what we can do, writer separated the book in the chapters, so you can read one chapter, and in the chapter topics and subtopic as well, you keep reading, and once your all the individual chapters will be over, you will be able to finish the Leninger book of biochemistry. Likewise, if you have the big problem, divide in the subproblems. This is the logic behind actually the dynamic programming. Divide in the small subproblems, solve the individual subproblems, and club it up, and then your problem is going to be solved. This is simple that dynamic programming. So once a method for scoring alignment is selected, scoring alignment means I will tell you that how much score you can give for matching, how much for the mismatch, how much for the indel, right? Why we are doing so, we'll discuss later on. So an algorithm to find the best alignment or alignment between two sequences can be developed. The most obvious method, exhaustive search of all possible elements, is generally not feasible. Alright. So consider two modest size sequence of 195 nucleotide. If we have developed an algorithm that computed and scored all possible alignment, just to consider the case where exactly 5 gaps are inserted into the sorter sequences. So as the length of the sequence grows, the number of possible alignment to search quickly become intractable or impossible to compute in a reasonable amount of time, as already discussed. So we can overcome the problem by using dynamic programming, a method for breaking a problem apart into reasonably sized subproblem and using these partial results to compute the final answer. So this approach compare every pair of character in the two sequence and generate an alignment which is the best or optimal. This method can be useful in aligning nucleotide or protein sequences. Means if you want to align the nucleotide or protein sequence, in both the cases dynamic programming is effective and this gives the best alignment, right? And obviously since you are comparing each and every sequence, each and every bases or each and every amino acid, so definitely it is going to take a lot of time, just like even more time than the dynamic program, the dot matrix analysis. But the best part is whatever result you will get at the end of the dynamic programming, that will be the best, right? So so the method requires large amount of computing power and it is a highly computationally demanding. So later on, with the improvement in the this dynamic programming, now things is going to be more simpler, and within less time we will be able to calculate the things. So that we'll discuss about the word archetypal method, how you quickly within a fraction of minute you can scan your large database, and you will come to know within 1 or 2 minutes that which sequence is actually in the database, the millions of sequences is being hosted in the database, which sequence is actually matching, showing the most strong similarity with your query sequence. So that we'll see in uh, next in few in coming lectures, right? So there is two type of problem I have already discussed. One was pairwise alignment and multiple sequence alignment. So what we are reading now, we are just focusing only on pairwise alignment. And in the pairwise alignment, there is two type of alignment. One was the I told you that global alignment, and second one was the local alignment. So in the global alignment, to solve the global alignment problem, uh, one algorithm is there that is known as Needleman Wunsch algorithm. And if you want to go for the pairwise sequence alignment, pairwise local sequence alignment, there is separate algorithm that we'll see in next lecture. So today, to solve, we are going to learn about how to solve the global pairwise alignment. So for the global pairwise alignment, one algorithm is there developed by Saul B. Needleman and Christian D. Wunsch in the 1970s itself by using the dynamic approach. And the key to understand the dynamic programming approach lies in observing how the alignment problem is broken down into subproblems that I already discussed about what dynamic programming is all about. So the dynamic programming algorithm compute optimal sequence alignment by filling in a table of partial sequence alignment score until the score for the entire sequence alignment has been calculated. So you will not understand these all the concepts until I don't demonstrate it so practically. So let me demonstrate it practically. Then you go and read all these text. Then things will be very clear to you. So the global sequence alignment problem of any given can be solved in three basic steps. There is three basic steps you have to solve if you want to perform the global alignment. So we are reading the algorithm like Needleman Wunsch algorithm. So Needleman Wunsch algorithm can be understood in three basic steps. Number one, matrix initialization. Number two, matrix filling. and number three, trace path. That is actually known as alignment. So let's understand. So in the matrix initialization, matrix filling, and matrix, and then finally what? The trace path. Okay. You go this through the. You can pause the video in between and you can read it later on. I'll if you request the notes, I will make it available to you. You can read it. So once I read one by one line, it's not no, it will take a lot of time and you will not understand until I practically demonstrate it, right? So let me demonstrate it, the algorithms. Then you can read the text. You can pause the video, and you can go back uh, on the slides and you can read that, right? So here I'm giving the exact problem. How what you step by step what you can do in the matrix initialization, in the matrix filling, and the trace path. Okay. So what we do, just like in the dot matrix analysis, as you remember, you have to make the alignment between two sequences. So the step is just like same. One sequence you have to put vertically, I mean horizontally, the sequence number one, and the sequence number two I'm keeping on the left side. All right. And just like I have done, I have to draw the table, the row and columns. Likewise, one extra. This is the difference from the dot matrix analysis. If you remember the dot matrix analysis, as much as sequence was there in the horizontal one, that was column was you have to draw in the dot matrix analysis. But here, what we are doing, you have to put one extra column, right? And as much sequence basis was there in the left one, as much as a row you have to add. But here you don't have to do one thing, you have to put one extra row, mind it. So one extra row and extra column you have to put if you are solving the global alignment problem, pairwise global alignment problem. Now here you see, consider the following score matrix: match equal to 1, mismatch equal to 0, gap penalty equal to -1. I will make a separate video what is scoring alignment is all about. Just for sake of understanding right now, I give you one example. Just for example, you are appearing for the examination, right? The competitive examination. If everybody, there is a question paper. So that question paper is a query. The question is query, right? And whatever you learn in your brain, so you match your questions, match the questions of question paper with your brain, and whatever comes that you write in the question paper. So the motive of conducting the paper is not fulfilled yet until you don't be evaluated how much you perform. So to judge whoever is performing well, what examiner is doing? Examiner is putting the marks to solve any particular problem. So to once you solve any particular question, you will get certain marks like 1 marks, 2 marks, 5 marks, depends, right? So that the ranking can be done in the competitive examination, that who is going to be selected, because posts are limited. Suppose for a particular job, 10,000 people are appearing and jobs are only 100. So in that case, it's not possible to give the job to everybody. So examination board conducts the examination, give marks to the particular question, and based on that, you can the board can make the merit list and 100 can be selected. Likewise, once you do the sequence alignment, which sequence is actually matching with your query sequence, how much it's matching, for that one, there is certain scoring matrix. Regarding scoring matrix, I will make a separate video what scoring matrix is all about. But for as of now, here I am giving you blindly the match is 1, the mismatch is 0, and gap penalty is -1. What all these I will explain in scoring matrix video. Okay. So what is saying? Use the Needleman Wunsch algorithm to compute the optimal global alignment for sequences TGATC and TCATGC. This is the simple representation, representative sequences, because no, actually the size of the gene is too much long, and it is not possible to go for the alignment with the help of pen and paper. So obviously, what we can do, just for demonstration, I'm skipping it short so that you can understand. So now the first step is matrix initialization. In the matrix initialization, what you have to do, one sequence you have to put horizontally and another one the left side, the vertical. and one row and one extra column you have to put. Now here you can see the extra row and column, this one, this point. Here you have to put 0. Compulsory you have to put 0. Now what you have to do, you have to see the value of indel. Gap penalty, here it is saying gap penalty. Somewhere you also may find the indel. Either it is written indel or it is written gap penalty. Both have same meaning. You don't get confusion. So you see the value of gap penalty given in the examination, that is -1. So you keep adding the value of -1. So 0, in 0 you have to put -1. How much it is going to be? -1. Then again you put -1, it is -2. Then again you have to put -1, -3. You keep adding the value of indel or gap penalty. Likewise, in the this side also, in the left side also, what you have to do? You have to put the value of gap penalty. Then again you put -1, -2, then -1, -3. Then again add -1, -3, -4. Then again put add -1. It is -5. So in examination or in any certain problem, if the gap penalty is -5, so in that case, what will be your value? Here it will be 0, -5, -10, -15, -20, -25, and here also -5, -10, -15, -20, -25, 30. All right, I think I'm clear, very clear. So this is all about matrix initialization. You will go and read through the theory. You will everything I have written. So as of now, the matrix initialization is over. In matrix initialization, again I'm repeating, one sequence you have to put horizontally, another one the left side, one row and one extra column you have to put. Then you have in the extra row and column you have to put 0, and you have to keep adding the value of gap penalty in the subsequent cells. Once you have added all the indels in the subsequent cells, now your matrix initialization part is over. Now we are going to proceed with the next part, that is known as matrix filling. In matrix filling, what we do actually, see, you have to watch it very carefully. Suppose you are in this particular cell, you want to fill certain value in this particular cell. You please watch carefully my cursor. So you have three ways to move. Number one, you can move first, you make the practice to solve the problem to avoid the confusion. Although you can solve it once you will be experienced enough, you can solve in another way also, but for ease of doing, I'm telling you the trick. First, make the practice. First, from this particular, in this particular cell, you have to move upside, right? So in the upside, once you go upside, you will get the just upside down. Okay, you don't have to go outside, right? Or you don't have to go in this side, or you don't have to go in this side. You have to go if you are if you want to fill any particular value in this particular cell, you have to go just upside. There you will get the value of -1. In that value, you can again add the gap penalties value. So here gap penalties value is -1. So -1 and -1 is how much? -2. So you write down somewhere the -2. All right. Then what you have to do? Then you again, now next time you go just left side. How much value you got? You got -1. In this value also, you add the value of minus gap penalty, that is -1. So it is -1 and -2. Again, this value you write down somewhere else. So you have two value, -1 means -2 from here and -2 from here. Now the third move you have to take, you just go diagonal. So in diagonal, once you go diagonal, you will find the 0. All right. So here in this particular 0, you don't have to add the value of gap penalty. In this value, you have to add the value of match or mismatch. Now, how you will decide whether you are going to add the value of match or mismatch? You go just upside. You just move out from this particular matrix. Here you can find how much? It is the value of t, and you come out of this matrix. Here again you find the value of t. So t and t is what? It is match. So match value is how much? 1. So you add the value of 0 plus 1 equal to 1. Now you compare. Now you have three values, right? -2 from this one, -2 from this one, and 1 from this one. Now you compare among three. -2, -2, and 1. Which one is the biggest value that you can write down? So the biggest value is out of minus 2 and 1 is 1. So I have written 1. Alright. So your matrix is filled. The same way, if I want to add the value, if I want to fill the value, first time, just like I told you, first you have to make the movement in the just upside. Okay, alright. So I have just gone in this particular cell. How much value is there? Minus 2. And what is the value of gap penalty? You have to add the value of gap penalty in this value. So minus 2 and minus 1 is how much? It is minus 3. Okay, so you write down somewhere minus 3. Then you just go left side. So how much the value? 1. In 1, you have to again add the value of gap penalty is minus 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So again you write down somewhere minus 3 and 0. So two values you have. Now what movement you have to make? You have to go on just diagonal. So in the diagonal, you find the value of minus 1. Just like I already told you, you have to add either value of match or mismatch. So how to decide? You have to add the value of match or mismatch. You just go upside. Here you find the G. Just go outside the matrix. Here is T. So G and T is what? It is the mismatch. Alright. So if it is mismatch, G and T. So value of mismatch is given 0. So 0 plus minus 1. How much it is? Minus 1. Done. So you have three value. Minus 3 and here it was 0 and here it is minus 1. So minus 3, 0 and minus 1, the biggest value is 0. Then if you have the confusion, pause the video, go back, again listen and then again try to solve. Next, let me solve one more example, few more example. If I want to fill the value in this one, I have to go just upside, minus 3. I have to put the value of minus 1. Gap penalty, minus 3, minus 1, minus 4 I have written somewhere. If I go this one, this way, 0 may in 0 you have to add the gap penalty value minus 1. So here I have the two values minus 4 and how much? Minus 1. Just go diagonal. In diagonal again you see here is the A, here is the T mismatch. The value of mismatch is 0. So 0. How many value you have? You have value of minus 4. From here you got minus 1. From here you got minus 2. So minus 4, minus 1 and minus 2. Which one is the biggest value? Largest value? So value is minus 1. Because from here you got minus 4. From here you got minus 1. From here you got minus 2. So the biggest value, largest value is minus 1. Likewise, if I want to fill this value in this particular cell, just go upside. So I got minus 4, add gap penalties value, it is minus 5, write down somewhere. Just to go left side, add the value of gap penalty or indel. So minus 1 and minus 1 is how much? Minus 2. So I have two values right now, minus 5 and minus 2. If I go just diagonal, so here I get the match value T and T. Here you can see the value match and match, T and T match. So for match it is 1. So here you got the value of minus 3 plus 1, it is minus 2. So how many values you have? You have minus 5 from this one, okay, minus 2 from this one and minus 2 from this one also. So obviously the largest value is minus 2. Very simple. Likewise, if you go upside, minus 5 and minus 1, how much it is? Minus 6. Here it is minus 3. And if here you go minus 4. So minus 6, minus 3 and minus 4, the value is, largest value is minus, how much it is? Minus 3. Likewise, if I want to fill this particular cell, what I have to do? I have to, here you may get the confusion. So don't get confusion. If you want to fill this value, you have to go just up in the cell. You don't have to go here, okay? You don't commit any mistake. If you want to fill this particular cell, you have to go just upside. So here how much I got? 1 minus 1. At the, in this value, add the value of gap penalty. So 1 minus 1 will be 0. Alright. If you go in this particular, so again you have to add the value of gap penalty. So minus 2 and minus 1 will be minus 3. So write down somewhere, this value is 0, this one is minus 3. And if you want to, then you have to go in the just diagonal. Once you go in the just diagonal, the T and C you see. Here is the T, here is the C mismatch. So minus 1 and 0 is how much? It will be minus 1 only. So now value is, you have to compare among 0, minus 3 and minus 1. So obviously the largest value is 0. Okay, I think you are getting the confidence now to fill the values. One more example I am showing you, then I will move ahead. So if to fill this value, what I have to do? I have to go just upside. So 0 plus gap penalty, it will be -1. Then I have to go just left 0 plus gap penalty means -1. So I have two value -1 and -1. If I want to go, definitely I have to go the third movement I have to make. I have to go just upside. Once I go in diagonal, so here is, you have to decide whether you have to fill the value of match or mismatch. So C and G, so it is mismatch. So 1 minus 0 means nothing, you get 1. So you have three values to compare, -1, and 1. So yeah, so mismatch value is yeah, so 1. So the largest value is 1. Likewise, you can stop the video and you can fill all the values. You can fill all the values and later you can match whether you have filled it correctly or not. See, you have to fill the values very carefully, because once you commit the mistake, you already have noticed that the value of one cell is depends over the other cell. So if you commit a single mistake in one cell, the whole matrix is going to be spoiled. And the best part is, at the end of the alignment, you will come to know whether you have filled the matrix correctly or not. So just like in mathematics, while solving the equations, know if the value of a and b, like that, if you remember your school days. So if the value of a plus b is something and a minus b is something, you have to calculate the value of a and b. And once you solve the equation, if you and you calculated the value of a and b, and that value you put in the equation, you will come to know whether the value of whatever you have calculated, that is right or wrong. So the same way, there is a total mathematical. At the end, you will come to know whether you have filled the matrix correctly or not. All right. So I think you have done with the matrix filling. So matrix filling is over. Now the third part left, that is trace back and the final. So in trace back, you have to bit tricky. What you have to do? You have to remember each and everything. Now you trace back. You have to start from the last one. See, from the lower right corner, the 3. Okay, you have to start from here. What to start? Now you have to think reverse, in the reverse direction. That, as I already told you, the matrix filling. While you were doing the matrix filling, you have to compare among the three values, right? Once you went to the upside, and then once you went left side, and one value once you went diagonal, right? So now you have to go in the reverse direction, and you have to think, suppose this is the 3. So 3 was originated from which value? Can you guess? You just remember. From where? From which number? From 2, from 1, from 3. From which number the 3 was originated? If it was originated from this one, you remember, in upside what value we had? We had the value of gap penalty. So it should come 3, right? But actually 3 is there. So obviously this 3 was not came from this 3. Alright. If it was coming from here only, then how much should be there? You again try to remember, in the left side, we add the value of gap penalty. So if this 3 was originated from this one, so 1 minus 1, it should be 0. Obviously, this 3 is not originated from 3 nor from this 1. So obviously, the only part left, this 3 was originated by 2, from 2. Because if you go outside, no, C, and this is C, so match value was how much? 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Means it is clear, this 3's origin point was 2. So what we do? We put the arrow targeting to 2. Just the simple one. Okay. Now let's check it out. 2 is originated from this one. So now check it out manually. 2 may be originated from this 3, because 3 minus 1, the gap penalty, it should be 2. If it came from this one 0, then its value should be -1. And if it come from this one, so if you go upside T, here it is the G, so TG and mismatch, so 1 and 0 will be 1. So obviously means it is clear, it is neither originated from this 0 nor it is from this 1. So obviously it came from this 3. So what we can put the arrow targeting to 3. Likewise, you have to keep guessing, right? And now see the origin of, try to guess the origin of this 3. So this 3, if it came from this one, it should be 0, because in the upper cell we were adding the gap penalty, and in the left side if it came from the this one, this should be 0. Obviously this 3 is not came from this one or this one, means obviously it came from the 2. If you want to cross check, you go just upside, here it is t, here it is again the t, so t and t is match. 2 plus 1 equal to 3, means it is very clear this 3 is originated from 2. Now I want to check the origin of this 2. So origin of this 2, obviously if it came from this one, it should be -1. If it came from this one, it should be again -1. Means obviously this 0 and 0 is not the origin point of this 2. So obviously this came from the 1. See, very simple. Now if it came from this 0, it should be -1. It came from this 0, it should be -1, which is not. So obviously it came from the 1. If you want to cross check, here it is a G, here it is again the C. So G and C is what? Mismatch. Mismatch value was how much? 0. So 1 and 0 should be 1. Very simple. So it came from this one. So that's how you can make the trace back. Then what we can, and obviously the origin of this one is, if it is -1, it should be -2. If it was -1, then it should be -2 again. Means obviously the origin of this one is 0. Now your trace back is over. So this is the very interesting one. You have to maybe twice or thrice you have to listen the whole video. Keep practicing. By practicing only you will be able to solve this particular Needleman Wunsch algorithm. So now what just you have done all the steps like matrix initialization, matrix filling, and trace back. What is the benefit of it? How you can generate the alignment? Now you see, you start from this one, right? So this, you see the arrow. Arrow shows, if you go in the diagonal, here you will find 0. Nothing, nothing. Here is nothing. So one arrow shows one base, right? So whenever you say the diagonal value, this arrow, you can write down one base somewhere, like C. See alignment how I am doing. You write down the C, one base from this and another base from this side. So I have written C and C. Now you see the arrow. Whenever you see the arrow in the upper side, though, in the upside, one time you ignore this particular base. Please ignore one time. So if you ignore this T, you can put 0, I mean gap. But you have to consider this base G. So here I have put it G. Now next time again arrow number 3. So arrow number 3 represent base number 3rd. So again you have to write down the, since you ignored first time the T, now this time you consider. So write down T, and this time third base you write down T. Then since the all arrows are going on diagonal, so A, G, C, T, T. Now your alignment have been done. So this is the simple alignment. This is the way you can generate the alignment. If this arrow was gone in this left direction, then one time, one base, the concerned base you have to ignore. Alright. So that's how you have generated the alignment. You keep practice. For any query, you may solve, you may ask me again. So, and score, if you want to check whether you have done the Needleman Wunsch algorithm correctly or not, if you want to cross check, the things are very simple. No, this is the alignment you got. This is the alignment you got. So as given in the question, that value for match is 1, mismatch is 0, gap penalty is -1. You can put simply the value like match. Here is the match, so 1. For mismatch it is 0. For match it is 1. For match it is 1. For indel or gap penalty it is -1, and for match it is 1. So you first you count all the match values. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 match. So there is the 4 matches. So total score is how much? 4. And let me check it out how many mismatch is there. So mismatch is single one, and for the mismatch value is 0. So 4 plus 0 is how much? Again 4. And gap penalty is -1. So 4 minus 1 is how much? it is 3 minus 3. I sorry 4 minus 1 equal to 3. So you can see the total score is 3, and you check it out, the largest value in this matrix is 3, means it is confirmed that you have solved the Needleman Wunsch algorithm correctly. So I think the Needleman Wunsch algorithm, if you keep practicing, you will come to know that how to solve the Needleman Wunsch algorithm. If you understand the concept, if you like the concept, please like and share the video so that other students who suffer from this particular problem, they can also understand. So identity and similarity, if you want to calculate, just like I already taught you, right? If you want to see the how much percent identity both the sequences are sharing, so you can see total identity is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 matches, and total here it is wrong. Very sorry, I have to make the correction. To make the correction, it should be 4 by 6. Okay, because the overall length of both the sequences were 6 only, so 4 by 6 multiplied by 100, and if you calculate this, the value will come like let me check it out and tell you. So 4 divided by 6 multiplied by 100, so your score will come 66.66%. So both the sequences are sharing 66.66% of similarity. So that was all about the Needleman Wunsch algorithm. You have to solve all the steps carefully. Keep practicing. Try to find out some problems on the Needleman Wunsch algorithm on the Google. Do the Google search and will come to a lot of examples. So try to solve them and keep practicing. I hope you like the video. Like and share the videos. Thank you very much. See you in next lecture for the next algorithm, that is Smith-Waterman algorithm. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.